Hi everyone, it's good to have you here in our webinar. Our event is about to start in 5 minutes, so please sit back and wait patiently. And while waiting, also don't forget to check out our LinkedIn Live group for first-hand Vinchin event updates and more exclusive prizes. Feel free to scan the QR code right on the screen or search Vinchin Live group in LinkedIn to join. And the chat room is also open for any questions from you during the whole session. Hello everyone, it's my honor to be here to discuss modern virtualization backup solution with you. In this webinar, you will grab a hold of the importance of data protection in actual production scenarios, the pros and cons of traditional backup, and why you should choose Vinchin for next generation virtual machine backup. During this webinar, I'd love to have you check out our LinkedIn Live group for first-hand Vinchin event updates and more exclusive prizes. You can scan the QR code right on the screen or search Vinchin Live group in LinkedIn to join. First off, I'd like to introduce myself and the speaker today. I'm your host, Eugenia, Marketing Manager of Vinchin, and my partner, Jack, is the Senior Solution Architect, and he will share with you Vinchin's virtual machine backup solutions in depth with product demonstration and answer your questions in Q&A session today. Also, we have our technical team behind the screen to answer any of your questions during the webinar. So feel free to chat and drop your questions anytime. And for those who interact, will have the chance winning special gift cards. Now let's get started. The first part is to get a brief overview of the data loss risk we may be facing in modern enterprise-grade IT environment. Data security has become a top priority for organizations worldwide. With cyber attacks becoming increasingly sophisticated, data protection can be important enough to ensure the stability, privacy, and availability of your mission-critical business data. As hackers' capability grow with time and new technology, there are now tons of data security threats that organizations can encounter unexpectedly, including all kinds of phishing attacks, ransomware, and other malware, let alone insider threats like system breakdown, file corruption, or things like that, keep bothering the day-to-day IT operations. All of them can cause significant damage to your organization, both financially and reputationally. That's why it's crucial to have a backup and recovery solution in place to ensure that your data is protected and recoverable in the event of an attack. Well, if simple words are not convincing enough for you, let's look at this topic at a bigger picture with some related facts and data. According to a study by EMC, data loss and downtime cost enterprises $1.7 trillion a year. 93% of companies that lost their data for 10 days or more filed for bankruptcy within 1 year of the disaster, according to the National Archives and Records Administration. The average cost of a data breach is $3.86 million, and for small businesses, the average cost is $120,000. This data demonstrates the serious risk and cost associated with the data loss and highlight the importance of having a robust data backup and recovery strategy in place. For organizations who first began to use virtualization when the technology became a trend, traditional virtual machine backup, also known as agent-based backup, is the only choice they had for data security guarantees. So what are the pros and cons of traditional agent-based backup and how it gradually evolves to be taken place by more effective agentless backup, you may wonder? Well, that's the next part we're going to talk about. Traditional virtual machine backup solution, which is also known as agent-based backup, has been around for a while. It is often considered to have high host visibility and higher granular level backup. However, since it requires individual agent to be installed on each virtual machine and its backup, organizations who own a virtualization-based IT environment can be often bothered by the time-consuming agent deployment process, let alone as drawbacks are also shown in the agent-based backup solution, such as lack of compatibility. Agent-based backup may not be compatible with all virtual machine environments and operating systems, which can limit its effectiveness and usability. And more resource consumption. Agent-based backup can consume more resources on virtual machines, which can impact the overall performance of the virtual infrastructure. And higher security risks. Agent-based backup may introduce security risk as the installation of agents can potentially expose the virtual machine to vulnerabilities or unauthorized access. Some other problems like inefficient LAN backup, complicated management, and lack of support for advanced instant restore are also there. So taking all factors into evaluation, more and more enterprises are now seeking more time-saving and effective backup solutions to protect their critical virtual machines. And that's where our next-generation agentless backup software, Vinchin Backup and Recovery, comes in. Our all-in-one backup software now supports agentless backup of more than 10 virtual machines, including WinWorld, Citrix Hypervisor, Hyper-V, and more to suit most business needs all at once. So here's the first question for you today. What virtual platform do you use? Are you using agent-based or agentless backup for data protection? Feel free to drop your answer and we'll choose one audience to give away special gift card. Now, I will turn my time over to my partner Jack to introduce the working principles and feature highlights of Vinchin's agentless backup solution from technical aspect more in detail. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Eugenia, I'm here, and I will share my screen right now. Can you see my screen, right? Okay, I will start. The third part is about why choose Vinchin virtual machine backup solution. There are a lot of virtual machine backup and recovery solution, but I will give you about 6 reasons to why choose Vinchin backup and recovery. Firstly, I'd like to talk about deployment. Vinchin Backup and Recovery is based on CentOS. The installation image is provided as an ISO file, which includes a complete CentOS system as well as Vinchin software packages. For installation, Vinchin supports installation on physical machine or on virtual machine, which is very flexible. Then about agentless backup and restore. As you may know, traditional agent-based virtual machine backup and recovery solution has a lot of shortness. For agentless backup and recovery, you don't need to install any agent on each virtual machine, which may dramatically simplify the management. Then you can manage all virtual machines at a unified web console. For compatibility, agentless backup is image-based. So Vinchin Backup Recovery supports all the operating system that the virtual platform supports. For backup and recovery method, it also supports the network backup and the instant restore. For compatibility, Vinchin supports almost all mainstream virtual platforms, and we are still developing to support more platforms. You can manage your multiple virtual platforms at a unified web console. So far, our products have been proven to be compatible with 10+ virtualization platforms whose overall performance has also been officially certified by many of upstream vendors, including VMware, Citrix, Red Hat, Oracle, and others. For efficient network backup, also known as SAM backup, the backup data are transferred through IPsec or FCsec directly from production storage to backup storage without passing through hypervisor layer or production network, which eliminates the impact on business critical operations when running high-speed backup or restore jobs. It also shortens the backup window or possible business downtime. Granular restore is a very useful feature to restore your virtual machine at file level. In most cases, the reason why a virtual machine needs to be restored is its critical files have been accidentally lost or damaged. But restoring the whole virtual machine is time-consuming and unnecessary. Granular restore extracts the whole file system from backup and allow users to browse and download the required files or folders directly from web console. Granular restore feature works independently without any interaction with the virtual platform. So if any unexpected disaster happens to destroy the whole virtual infrastructure, you can still retrieve important files by using backups on Vinchin Backup and Recovery. Instant restore is another important feature which can be used in some emergency situation where your critical production VM is unable to provide services. Without transferring backups to virtual platform, data store instant restore will create a new virtual machine directly from backups in a minute to take over unfunctional production virtual machine, which ensures the service continuity. During the runtime of instant restore, the virtual machine's newly generated data will be written into a cache area, and the original backup will remain unmodified. Both the original backup data and cache data is inside the Vinchin Backup storage. If you wish to migrate all the data back into your virtual platform storage, you can simply schedule a maintenance window of business time. By using built-in live migration feature of Vinchin Backup and Recovery, you can migrate both original backup data and newly generated cache data back to virtual platform storage seamlessly throughout the full process of instant restore and migration. Your virtual machine is always maintained in a consistent manner. Okay, the fourth part is about Vinchin Backup in 3 steps. Firstly is to protect your multiple virtual environments. You can easily backup and recover virtual machines on multiple virtual platforms without accessing console of each virtual platform. All you need to do is to connect each virtual platform to Vinchin, then all operations can be done on Vinchin Unified Web Console. Way-to-way is another feature that is achieved by Vinchin self-developed VMCE. When backup, VMCE module stores both virtual machine data and configuration data in unified format. When restore, VMCE module transform VM data and configuration data to another format that adapts to the destination virtual platform. Some configurations like CPU, RAM can be customized. It can also be applied to instant restore. Unlike other way-to-way migration, which allows you to migrate just one direction, Vinchin Backup and Recovery allows you to bidirectional migration on up to 10 mainstream virtual platforms. The whole process is very simple. Firstly, create a backup job to backup several virtual machines, then create a restore job using another virtual platform as destination. Way-to-way migration is very useful for the users who want to migrate their virtual platforms from one virtual platform to another virtual platform, and also be useful to the users who use hybrid environments. Okay, the second step is to achieve disaster recovery for your environment. In modern times, companies or organizations usually consider deploying to distant and independent data centers to prevent natural disaster. As for disaster recovery strategy, you can easily set scheduled copy job to copy backup data from primary site to remote site. If any disaster happens in primary site, you can restore environment at remote site with copied backup data. If remote sites also functions as a production environment, you can set backup copy at primary sites. So primary site and remote site are backed up to each other. If you lost backup storage at any site, you can retrieve backup data from another site. Backup archive can be used to archive your backup data to a more cost-effective storage like cloud object storage for long-term data retention and cloud disaster recovery. The data no longer be used or inactive, but still with business value can be archived to make sure it is still accessible when needed. Taking advantage of the ultimate durability of cloud object storage, including AWS3, Microsoft Azure, Blob Storage, Alibaba OSS, Huawei OBS, Tencent COS, Wasabi Cloud Storage, Safe S3, and Min.io. You can archive your inactive data for long-term data retention and cloud disaster recovery, and also to comply with data security laws and regulations. When primary site environment fails, you can easily rebuild a new environment at remote site with backup data on cloud. The third step is to protect your backup data. We have adopted the backup data encryption from unauthorized access. By default, is disabled. You can enable it by turning on the encryption option at backup job configuration. On the basis of backup job, data encryption will encrypt all data generated by this job. It is mandatory to enter right password when perform full granular or instant restore. No matter the backup data is restored in local, offsite, or cloud. Storage protection, it is another important feature which can protect your backup data against ransomware and other malwares. When it is enabled on Vinchin Backup and Recovery server, a demo process will be applied to monitor the I/O requests from all applications within Vinchin Backup infrastructure. Only the I/O requests from Vinchin applications are allowed to write and modify. The backup data inside Vinchin Backup storage requests from other applications will be blocked. And to prevent malwares to disguise as Vinchin applications, the demo process will also protect Vinchin application binaries. To prevent accidental or malicious deletion of backup data, even root user of Vinchin Backup server cannot delete any backup data from backend. There is a condition to guarantee the storage protection works correctly. The storage attached to Vinchin server must be exclusive block devices. Otherwise, there is possibility the malwares may bypass Vinchin to access your backup data from storage device level. Okay, the next part is technical demo. Before the demo, I will leave time to my colleague Eugenia, who will announce the lucky audience who wins our gift card. Eugenia, are you there?
Hi, Jack, I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you. So now it's time for me to announce the first winner of our special gift card for today. Let's congrats Mabel Tesfaye. Mabel, please join our LinkedIn Live group to get a prize anytime you like. We'll have 2 more gift cards to offer during the Q&A session, so don't forget to interact with us. Now I will turn my time over to Jack.
Eugenia, I will continue and I will. Can you see my screen? Okay, I will start from the beginning. At the login page, you need to log in and you will be redirected to the home page. At this page, you can get an overview about the Vinchin Backup and recovery infrastructure. For example, the total uptime, total backup, current jobs, history jobs, and so on. You can see the status of backup data, the storage usage, the system monitor, and others. You can go to the reports of the monitor center to see more details. And you can go to the system page to see the real-time monitor about the system monitor and the system info. Okay, let's start it. Before back up the virtual machine, you need to do some preparations. The first preparation is universal preparation for all the backup and recovery is to collect one storage device to Vinchin server. As you may see, you can click on the End button to end the storage device to Vinchin. We support disk partition, local disk, local directory, and others, SCSI, FC, and so on. For offsite storage, actually, is not a typical storage type. Actually, it's a storage connected to another Vinchin. So you need to input the IP address, account name, and password to collect another Vinchin storage device to this Vinchin server. So you can copy your backup data to another Vinchin server storage. As for the object storage, we support like AWS S3, Azure, Alibaba Cloud, and so on. You need to input some credentials like access key, secret key, and so on. Okay, let's go back to the resources module. And for agentless for virtual machine agentless backup and recovery, you need to prepare another thing is to connect the virtual platform to Vinchin server. As you may see, we support like Red Hat, VMware, Oracle Linux Virtualization Manager, CPNG, and so on. You can click on the End button to end these virtual platforms. For VMware, you just need to input the IP, the administrator's account name, and password. You can set a customized name for this virtual platform. And for others, for example, like Hyper-V, you need to download the plugin and install that to the hypervisor level of Microsoft Hyper-V. But for all these platforms, you don't need to install any agent on the virtual machine on the guest OS. So it's actually agentless backup and recovery. Okay, and I have done enough preparations, and let's take a look about how to back up virtual machine with just 4 simple step wizards. Firstly is to select the backup source, which means the virtual machine you like to back up. You can use the searching box. And I like to back up maybe 2 virtual machine. And for some virtual machine that has several disks, you can exclude some disks from backing up. The second step is to select the data storage. And the third step is to select the backup strategy. As you may see, you have general strategy, transmission strategy, and advanced strategy. For general strategy, firstly, you will see the time windows, which will show you that at a specific time period, how many jobs has been scheduled, so you can better manage your backup and recovery jobs. For backup mode, you can set as once off, so the job will be completed only once. And you can set repeated and scheduled. For example, full backup at every week and the incremental backup at every day. You can also set the frequency. Example, every 1 week, every week, every other week, every 2 weeks. And for the everyday, you can also set the frequency. You can enable repeat function, and from the start time to end time, every 1 hour after, there will be another backup job be taken. Same as the incremental backup job. Okay, and for the customized strategy, you may, if you configure the the template at resources strategy template. You can set the template for a lot of virtual machines at one backup job. And for the speed controller, if you are using NAND backup and you don't want the backup process to interfere with your business production, you can add a scheduled or a permanent max speed limit to limit the backup process. It's optional. As for the data storage policy, we recommend to enable the data deduplication and data compression to reduce a backup data size. As for the data encryption, you can use the random password or customized password. As I mentioned before, this encryption is valid for all the backup data included in this backup job. So these two backup points will be encrypted. And for retention policy, we support the retention policy. We support short-term retention policy by retain the backup data by restore points or by this at a customized value. We also support the GFS, the long-term retention policy. You can keep your full backup data by week, by month, or by year. You can set it individually, or you can set the combination of those three. As for advanced strategy, you can set the serial snapshot along with the pre-create snapshot, which means if you back up several virtual machines, then when one virtual machine has been transferred to storage, another snapshot will be taken at the same time, so it will increase the backup speed. And you can also enable the parallel snapshot at the same time. For transfer threads, you can increase or decrease the transfer threads. And for the bit detector, it's now only valid for NTFS file system, which can exclude the swap files, unpartitioned space, and deleted files from backing up. As for the transmission strategy, you can use the VMware built-in hot end or NAND or SAN or NAND or SSL-based transfer. For the hot end, it varies. It varies from virtual platform to virtual platform. For example, like OLVM, it will be the image I/O. And for advanced strategy, for the block size, you choose or you can set as default. And for the quickest snapshot, it can keep some application in a consistent state, but it needs some special function like VSS of Windows. And for the CPT, if you enable that, you can increase the speed of incremental backup. The last step is review and confirm, and you can also configure the job name to identify. And if nothing wrong, you can submit this job, and you will be automatically redirected to the jobs page of Monitor Center. At this page, you may see it has the current jobs tab and the history jobs tab and virtual machine, especially for the virtual machine tab. For this job, you can unfold to see more details. And for the data, status is pending because I set a scheduled job and time is not due. So you can wait or you can manually start this job. You can get more detailed information by clicking on the job name, and you will be redirected to the details page. At this page, you can see the transfer speed, and job progress bar and the run log. Also, you can set all the strategies like storage strategy or advanced strategy you selected. At virtual machine list 10, all the virtual machine which will be backed up in this job will be listed. Okay, it's on the process. As you may see, actually some virtual machine don't match the SAM, so it will be automatically downgraded to the NAT. And you may see the deduplication and the compression. Our deduplication and compression is independent from the storage side deduplication and compression. And you may see the ratio. Actually, the transfer size and the write size almost the half. The write size almost half about the transfer size. Okay, I will check before this job done. I will go to the backup data to check this backup point. As you may see at VMware, you can check another backup point. For example, for this backup point, you can delete this backup point. You can also comment this backup point, for example, as a reminder. And for the retention policy, you can also set a forever retention tag. So which means this backup point will be kept forever. Okay, let's go back to the jobs. As you may see, this virtual machine has been backed up and the ratio almost 50%. Okay, two virtual machine has been backed up and you can go to this virtual backup data to check this backup point. As you may see, there is a lock icon, which means it has been encrypted, same as another backup point. Okay, let's go back to the restore. Actually, we have three kinds of restore. One is full virtual machine restore and similar 4 steps. Firstly, you need to choose one backup point. I will choose the backup point which just backed up. And the second step is to select a destination. Here you may see, I just backed up some virtual machine on VMware. I can still back up, I can still restore to another virtual platform. So that is our V2V migration. Now I will create 2 jobs. One is to restore to original platform and another to restore to another platform. For now, if you select one destination platform, Vinchin will request the resources information from the destination platform. Okay. Okay, and for the unified configuration, if you restore a lot of virtual machines at the same time, you can take a unified configuration. When you select here, all the virtual machines here will be selected automatically. Okay, and for the configurations of restore virtual machine, I will change the name, for example, to original. And the power on after restore. And you can increase or decrease the CPU RAM. And for the virtual disk, you can set the auto select or you can choose one disk. For the same as the network, you can leave out as default or you can select by yourself. But don't forget the other settings. There is a data encryption. You need to pass through the password verification. Sorry. Okay, and to select the restore strategy, okay, I will leave out as default because it's almost the same as backup job. And we'll change the name to original. Okay, next this backup, this restore job run, and I will quickly restore another virtual machine to another platform with the same backup point. Here I will choose the OLVM. I will change the name from VMware to OLVM. Okay, and power on after restore and pass through the password verification. Okay, let's wait. This is to original, and with this job done, we will go to the VMware and check if this virtual machine can be used without any error. And to OLVM, same, we will check when restore to another virtual platform, which is V2V, if the restored virtual machine can run without any error. Okay, this has been done. Let's take a look about at VMware. Okay, you may say this is to original. Let's wait for some seconds to boot this virtual machine. Okay, it's almost done. Okay, this is a full virtual machine restore just to the original platform. So it's normal. And we will wait until until this job done, and we will check about our powerful V2V migration. As I said, the V2V migration is very simple. We even don't separately list this function. We just embedded this function to the full virtual machine restore. You just set another virtual platform as a destination, then you create a restore job. All the other things will be done by Vinchin server. You don't need to concern about the driver, the format inconsistency, all the things. So that is our powerful V2V migration. And we'll wait some time. Okay, before that, I think I may just admin log in this platform. Okay, as you may see, this virtual machine has been created and it's on the process of transferring. Okay, almost done. Because you know that this mode is NAND, because I didn't configure the NAND path, so it will be a little slow. But if you use the NAND, which will be much faster. Okay, as you may say, the job done, and this virtual machine will be powered on. Oh, sorry, I think I didn't enable the power on after restoring, so I need to manually start this job. Oh no, yes, I enabled, and it's on the process. It's on the process of booting. Just wait a few seconds. Okay, I'm opening the console. Okay, it's at another screen, and you may see it has been booted, and I will log in. Okay, all things done, and you can use this virtual machine without any error. So don't need to consider about the driver, the format inconsistency, all the things. Okay, and actually, you can also You can also migrate from VMware to. You can also migrate from OLVM to VMware. So as you wish, we support the 10 virtual platforms bi-directional way-to-way. Okay, and I will show you about another feature we call the instant restore. The instant restore is to allow you to restore a virtual machine very quickly, no matter how much the data size of the virtual machine. No matter 1 TB or 2 TB, it's the same time. And the instant restore also can be applied to V2V migration. For example, I will show you about this backup point. This is the backup point from the RHV, and I will select the target host to VMware. So that is another V2V, but in the instant restore mode. Okay, wait for a moment. It's requesting resources from VMware. As you may notice that if the load of the virtual machine is low, so the requesting process will be short. Okay, I will change the name for from RHV. Okay, same power on after restoring, and the others I will leave out as default. Okay, for instant restore job, you need to manually start. And we can go to the details page to show, to see how it works. As I just mentioned in the PPT, it is using the NFS protocol to just mount the backup data to the virtual machine. So it will be very fast. And after instant, you want to migrate to a new virtual platform, to a new machine, you can use our built-in migration function to guarantee your data consistency. Okay, it started. Let's go back to the VMware. Okay, this virtual machine. You can check about the storage type of this virtual machine. you may say this is NFS compared to another virtual machine, which is the FC here. So the instant restore is designed especially for emergency situation where your critical business virtual machine cannot provide services. You can use instant virtual machine to take over your business. Okay, actually, the NFS performance is not as good as FC. So, but the advantage is that it's the same time, no matter how much the data size of your virtual machine, almost takes same time. As you may say, you can use this instant virtual machine. Okay, and like I said before, when off business time, you can schedule a time window to migrate this virtual machine to a new virtual machine, and you can guarantee your data consistency. Okay, this is the same about full virtual machine restore, and to save time, I will leave out this part. Okay, I'd like to talk about the third part of restore. It's a granular restore that allows you to extract the critical files directly from the backup point, and it is irrelevant to the virtual platform. I mean, if your original platform has been destroyed, you can still extract some critical files from your backup data. Okay, same for the granular restore job, you need to manually start it. And when status becomes pending, you can download. Becomes running, when preparing becomes running, you can download. You may say the file system has been listed. This is a Linux server, and it's a root directory. Can go to this directory, and for the folders or for the files, you can directly download to your desktop. So it is very easy. Okay, let's go back to the backup copy and backup archive. This is designed to achieve disaster recovery. You can copy your backup data to another local storage, or you can copy your backup data to the offsite storage. You can create a copy job, similar 4 steps. And the difference about copy source that if you choose the resource, the source as the backup point, so it will be taken at once. So it's once-off job. And if you take like a backup job, then it will be bound with this backup job. So all the backup data generated, like full backup point, incremental backup point, differential backup point, generated by this backup job will be copied to another destination periodically. And you may say you can set once-off job and as scheduled. So every week, the newly backuped data will be copied to another site. Okay, as you may say, if you choose on-site storage, that is another storage device to prevent storage failure. And if you choose the off-site storage, that is a remote site. Okay, other settings I will leave out. change your name to identify. Okay, you need to manually start the job because you said at every week and time is not due. Okay, it will be very quick and I will log in another Vinchin server. Okay, and at the Vim backup module at copy module at copy data, you may see here, this backup point has been copied to another site. And at another site, you can restore with this backup pointer. So that is how we achieve disaster recovery. You can restore at another site, restore your environment. Okay. As for the backup retrieve, that is the same function. The only difference that if you lose your backup pointer or backup data at the primary site, you can retrieve the backup data from another site if you have already copied the backup data to another site. So that is a difference. And for the cloud backup archive, it's the same as backup copy. The only difference is that you can archive your backup data to another local storage or to cloud object storage. That is a difference. And the last step, I'd like to talk about our security settings about the storage protection. If you enable this and your storage device is exclusive block device, then you cannot delete the backup data. So it prevents you from ransomware. Let's take a look about how it enables. For example, I will log into the backend. Okay, this is a Vinchin backup end, and for it is a physical server and it uses local disk as backup storage. We may go to this storage directory. As you may see, the DB folders store the database data, backup data, file system data, same, the OS, the NAS, and so on. And I will try to remove the DB folder. I'm now using the identity of root. But you may say all the operations is not permitted. So that is how we prevent the ransomware. Okay, I think I have done about the demo part, and this part is Q&A part, and I will leave time to my colleague, Eugenia. Eugenia, are you there?
Hi, Jack.
Yeah, I'm here.
So thank you, Jack, for your detailed solution introduction. Now it's time for the Q&A session. Please feel free to ask us anything about our product, and Jack will answer them for you. So now I've got some questions already. The first question is, do you support KubeVirt KVM?
You mean the KVM? Yeah, we support a lot of we support the KVM based virtual platform like Oh, I think archway or overt.
How about cubevert?
Pardon me?
Cubevert.
Maybe you can type it and
Kubevirt.
can you type it to me?
Okay.
Cubevert, no, we don't support this virtual platform.
Okay, thank you, Jack. The next question is, can you keep backups on a local storage and have another copy on a distant storage? S3, for example.
Yeah, I just mentioned, I just demoed that you can back up to local storage and you can schedule a copy job to another destination.
Okay, thank you, Jack. The next question is, does Vinchin support Zen 8.2?
Yeah, we support Zen 8.2. I know some others do not support. Actually, we support this.
Okay, so here's the last question for you. Do you support Citrix to XCPNG migration? Need V2V license or not?
Yes, we support the Citrix to XCPNG. Actually, you just need to collect two virtual platforms to Vinchin server, and as I mentioned before, you just create a backup job and backup some virtual machines at Citrix platform, and then you create a restore job, then choose the backup point which you just created, then choose the destination at XCPNG, and when the job done, the V2V migration done. Yeah, you need to get license of V2V migration.
Thank you, Jack. So I think that's all for the live Q&A session today. It's time for us to announce two more lucky audience for our special gift cards today. Let's congrats Nicholas Pages and Tinsley Ketima. Please join our LinkedIn Live group to get the prize after this webinar. For those questions we did not respond here, you can scan the QR code on the screen and ask us for more follow-up. So I think that's all for today. Thank you all for taking your time out to join us. For those who don't win the gift this time, don't be sad, because you can still join our LinkedIn Live group to win exclusive prizes while participating in polls, or tell us any of your ideas or suggestions for our next live event to help us get better. Hope you all have a great day and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.